6:31 p.m. Move to approve the meeting minutes from September 30, 2020 and November 4, 2020. Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Set the next meeting date. We probably in January, I assume, after the first of the year sometime.
Are we doing Wednesday nights? Is that the goal here? What's the best for the folks in town hall there?
Yeah, Wednesday works good because I have to do a lot of Tuesday night selectmen meetings.
Yep. So what do you think of the 13th? Well, wait, why do you think, we're going to, so that's, what's today? I mean, so the 13th is a month.
Works for me.
Okay. Should we do the 13th? Robin, you're muted in case you're. Robin, you're muted. Does the 13th look okay?
Yes, I'm sorry, I muted because the phone was ringing. And, you know,
Oh, got it. Yes.
nothing to drive other people crazy than the phone.
I've decided that the motto of 2020 is, "Hey, you're muted." That's the
worst is the dog barking. That's even more.
Dog barking, kids crying.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
All right. So, 13th at 6:30.
6:30 on the 13th works well. Okay, should we take up the it's interesting. Okay, let's take up then, it's not 6, well it is. Why don't we take up 363 Beechwood Street, septic system repair, James Engineering. Do we have somebody from James?
No, that's the problem. We're waiting for him. He's not there. I had contacted him this afternoon and he accepted the new meeting invite, and so I don't know where he is.
Okay, so why don't we then move ahead and do the other things, and if he doesn't show up, we'll have to continue this. There's no other way to deal with it.
Right.
Okay, so the Public Health Agent Report, or as I call it, the Director of Public Health Services.
Yeah.
Pam, if you'll give us a report. And I know you've been sending us the reports weekly. So that's, I think we're all up to speed, but is there anything that you have specifically that's of most interest, or just
I do.
about?
I do. There's a hot topic brewing right now, and that's the Cook Estate. You guys all familiar with the Cook Estate? It's right behind Stop and Shop Plaza.
Mhm.
So what's been happening there is if you've ever just driven by, you're starting to go up Sawyer Street and you look at their driveway, it's a long winding driveway, a big hill, there's water coming down the side of it. And there's been water coming down the side of it every day, even in the summertime when we're in the midst of a really severe drought, there's always water coming out of that thing. So Jason had done some just crude screening level tests, like using test strips, and tested for nitrates, and he tested positive for it, and that's enough to indicate that there's probably sewage in there. So it doesn't smell or anything. I think it's almost all groundwater, but it's groundwater contaminated with the sewage. So what's happening is the system's built on top of a big drumlin. So in geology terms, a drumlin is like basically the glacier back in the day pushed it, you know, almost like a big bulldozer, and left this big pile of rock and till and stones and like retreated when it melted. And so the core of a drumlin is like this really compressed hard till, and typically you're not really supposed to put septic systems in that, but usually like on at least a side of it there is like a deep enough layer of, you know, 4 or 5 feet of some decent soil that you can put a septic system in. So somebody like Mary that lives on the other side of it, it's probably fine, there are septic systems there. But On top of it, it really is not a good place to put a system. And looking back in the files, there was reports in 2003 and 2004. They did a hydrogeological study, 2 of them. And, you know, after digging wells and test pits and stuff, they sure enough confirmed what typically happens on a drumlin is that there's like a perched groundwater table. So like a layer of like some sand, and then like a hard surface like clay, and then there's a layer of groundwater, and then more hard surface under that, and then eventually there's groundwater deeper. And so this report was saying with this perched groundwater table there and all this hard packed till underneath, like you shouldn't put leaching fields on top of there. And so originally when they were going to do this condo complex, they were going to do a really big system, and it was going to have to be approved by DEP. So it was going to be greater than 10,000 gallons per day. And these people in these reports said, this is just a terrible place to put leaching fields. You're never going to get permission from DEP. You know, think about someplace else you could locate them, you know, do them off-site somewhere, have a big shared system. Why it eventually went through, I have no idea.
Robin, were you on the Board of Health then?
Yes, I was. That was a millennium ago, though, and I don't remember.
Sorry, I just go
So
on.
they scaled back the design, so they didn't have to get DEP approval. And then now they're 3,500 gallons per day. So 10,000 is the threshold that it goes to DEP. So it's under DEP. It's under the Board of Health jurisdiction. So now exactly what these people were saying in 2003, 2004, don't do it. It's kind of happening now where we think this perched groundwater is just blasting through the old septic system, and it's come shooting out the side of the hill, and it's all flowing down the driveway and into the catch basin. And if you like kind of stick your head down there and check out the catch basin, the water is roaring through there. It's almost like somebody opened up a hydrant and the water's flying through there. So we think like the groundwater is going through there, picking up the sewage from the septic treatment, the leaching fields, and then coming out the side of the hill. So Jason and I talked to Chris Senior today, and I think we're going to have to write a letter and officially fail the system. Now, the good news is that the condo president is a woman named Jane Reardon. I don't know if you know her, Robin, but she is.
I know Jane, yes.
She's excellent, and she's being really cooperative. She understands the problem. We've been like sharing information back and forth. At one point, we thought maybe if they just like extended the liner out there, it might help. And they had Paul Davis come out and do some digging to, you know, do some trenches to see how far out the liner went. And instead he hit like a gusher of water on the side of the hill. Okay, he's waiting to be accepted into the meeting. Huh. Well, anyway, they're being really cooperative, and they're going to get they're trying to find an expert to help. But the problem is, like the little local firms that we usually use, like say Grady Engineering or Cavanaro or Morris, they say like they're too small. You need a bigger company with like hydrogeologists and stuff. But then they reached out to Weston and Sampson, and they said, well, we're too big and expensive for you. So they're kind of searching. They're trying to find somebody to help them out.
Meanwhile,
the water just keeps pouring out of that thing. So we're probably just going to have to make it official and send them a letter saying that
Is
you're
an on-site, small on-site treatment plant
Yeah, so it's
a reasonable option for them?
It's for leaching fields. Oh,
An on-site plant for
they
them.
would be so much money, and it's like 2 years at least to permit and stuff. A better option if they can't fix these things is probably to hook up to the town sewer. The Deer Hill School is the end point basically of the sewer currently. They'd have to extend it out there, but that would cost each resident like $35,000 or something to hook up. So we're going to see if there's any way they can fix this thing. There might be a way to put like an interceptor, like a drainage interceptor to catch the water that's flowing through and, you know, divert it down into the groundwater table. I don't know.
We
I
could
know,
divert it to Don Stasko's property.
Exactly.
Burn it
I was
down
just
there.
gonna say, you put in the
Heart,
treatment plant in at the
All in
Stop and
favor,
Shop Plaza.
All in favor, say aye. Motion.
Well, I'll tell you what Don Stasko would like. He would like these guys to probably hook into his private treatment
Right.
plant and, you know, pay the costs and stuff. And Jane knows all about him, and she's like, no way, we're not doing that. We'll hook up to the town store before we do that kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Unfortunately, the system got built in a geological area that they should never have put him in the first place. And now it's not too surprising, but it's failing. And I don't know, to be continued.
Okay, so obviously we need a letter going out to them, laying out exactly what you said, and have them come in, well, the next meeting, or if not the meeting after that. We've got to solve this issue before it floods out everything.
Yeah, so I'll draft a letter and I'll send it to you guys for approval,
Okay,
and we'll go from there.
okay. Excellent, thank you. I see Gary James has joined us. Hello, Gary. Are you there? He showed up.
He's
on my
just on
screen.
mute. There he is.
There he is.
Actually, I can.
Okay, excellent. We will now take up 363 Beechwood Street, a septic system repair. And
Let me share
Gary?
my screen.
Gary, you're on screen now.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Aha,
There.
there we go.
Oh.
I can make up this.
Wow.
Yeah, I set a new record for a number of chambers on this one for myself. This is an existing, it's actually a 2-unit building at two units at 263 Beechwood. It's just beyond King Street as you're going west. The existing system is just a cesspool out back. And as you can see, the building sewer right now comes out from underneath the basement slab. So what we're going to end up doing is pumping to get to it. And the system itself, the perk rate was 50 minutes an inch. So, you know, you can see the size. This is a full-size system. It is going to be infiltrated chambers. And we are requesting one local upgrade approval, and that's to reduce the height above groundwater from the bottom of the leaching facilities to groundwater from 4 feet to 3 feet. Other than that, the system does comply 100% with the remainder of the both Title V and the local regulations.
Now, Gary, I see at the top of the schematic, 261 Beechwood Street. And the application is for 263. Is that something that we?
That's the abutter.
Pardon me?
That's the abutter. That's the abutting lot.
Oh, that's the abutting. Graves is the abutting. I'm sorry. My apologies. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, we actually did do, this is an actual property line, so, you know, we're actually right on the property line, because I happen to work on the house across the street at 272.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, in other words, I'm not guessing, this is exactly where the house is and where the system will be. Now, it's funny that we did have it, because if you look at the low side, there's pretty much where the stone wall is beyond test pit number 2 is
Right.
exposed ledge. So we couldn't get it over to the left side because of the amount of ledge, but we were able to get it. There was actually an old barn sitting right here. It's no longer there. So we were lucky in that we did get enough material. So as we got a 50-minute rate, it was slow, but at least we got a rate.
It appears to be a large system just looking at the schematic. Is this
Well, it
oversized?
is. It is, because the rate was 50 minutes, so the application rate's only 0.2 of a gallon per square foot. So
Okay.
it's,
Okay. Okay. Michael or Lynn, any comments, questions?
So the upgrade is basically you're looking for a 1 foot, one additional foot, 1 foot closer to groundwater is basically
That's
what you're
correct.
looking for. Got it.
yeah, for a
From
local
four,
upgrade.
from 4 to 3, I assume. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. It seems straightforward to me. That is really impressive, though. I mean, it's more square footage than the house. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's a big system.
Nope, I don't have any questions. Lynn?
Okay, so are you ready to make a motion, Michael or Lynn? This is an equal opportunity organization. Everybody participate. Lynn, how about it? Let's give it a shot. I want to see your name in the minutes.
I can make a motion, but let's see. I have, Pam, do you have the app, or should I pull it up on my computer of what I'm making a motion to do on the exact?
Gary, do you have the local upgrade request on the plan by any chance, or in sheet 1 or 2?
I don't see-
Take a look at sheet 2, Pam. I believe,
Okay.
yeah, it's in the notes on sheet 2.
Okay.
Not on. Here we go. It should
Yep,
be.
right there. I think it's note 25.
It's in
Oh,
the
okay.
finest of the fine print.
I see it.
I can make it bigger,
Whoa.
Lynn. Hang on 1 second.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
can
got
read it. I can read
Yeah,
Right.
there you go.
Okay. All right.
All right, so it's been a while since I've done this, so I make a motion to approve number 25 in accordance, do I have to read it? In accordance with 310 CMR 15.403 for a local upgrade approval. The system as designed will require the following waivers. One is 15.405 to allow the height of the leaching facilities above groundwater to be reduced from 4 feet to 3 feet. So I make a motion, we approve that.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
All
I
Aye.
aye.
Okay. This is the big one now, when you have to
Oh, no.
you have to make the motion to approve the whole project now.
How do I do that? I don't know.
I so move.
Well, hang on 1
don't-
second. I'll
Yeah,
I'll get
yeah.
I'll share my screen again. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. So you can just read the plan, like date and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
There's the repair. I mean, the plan info.
Okay, so repair. So I make a motion to approve the plans named Repair Subsurface Disposal System at 263 Beechwood Street in Cohasset, Massachusetts.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
I
Gary, do we have a date on that? I don't see a date on that plan. Or is it-
Oh, dated 10/1/2020.
Yeah, and it's revised 11/27/20.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well, thank you, Gary. That was easy.
That was very easy. Yep, thank you very much. It was very nice meeting all of you.
Nice to meet you too. Happy
Thank
digging.
you.
Have a nice day.
Thanks, Gary.
For now.
All right, thank you, Pam.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too.
You as well.
Bye.
Okay, so let's, okay, so Pam gave us some information in addition to her weekly, which is very helpful. Now, Mary, you're up. I know we get your weekly as well, which is very helpful. Do you have anything hot to tell us since your last Friday report? I think you
No, we
muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
You're lip syncing.
It doesn't look like she's muted. That is strange. And I heard Mary earlier.
I don't hear a thing. Yeah, no. No, she should be. No,
Huh.
that's really weird. Okay. Hmm.
See if I make her a co-host or something. See what happens.
No, still can't hear you. Would you like to write your comments and hold them up to the screen?
Can we remotely get her the audio, or is that impossible?
I think she's gonna call in. That's why she pulled out her phone.
Okay, that'll work.
So I'm actually gonna put her on mute so that there's not you know, here we go.
That's a pro tip right there.
Here she is coming in now.
Yeah.
That's
Can
right.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, except for the echo. Can you shut off like the computer connection?
Actually, yeah, just or mute or turn off your speakers or turn your volume all the way down or something.
I just left that
There
meeting.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now you're in.
Yeah, I
Excellent.
don't know why I was muted because it didn't show me as mute.
No,
but-
it didn't. It didn't. And you were talking earlier, right? Didn't we all say hello when you first arrived?
Yes, I heard that. I think Ronnie Goodwin is somehow at fault for this. What do you think?
You're probably right, Robin. You're probably right about that. Two hot issues this week have come up. One is Brown Bear Daycare. Are you familiar with Brown Bear Daycare? It's located on 3A in the building where the Fireplace Connection used to be. Jim Carney has his accounting business, Goodale Insurance. It's between Mary Lou's and Feng Shui, that building. In the back, there's a daycare. They had a teacher work last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Became symptomatic on Wednesday, tested positive on Thursday. So her infectious period was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And unfortunately, she worked with one group on Monday, a different group on Tuesday, and a third group on Wednesday.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Right. So currently there are 24 children in quarantine and 5 teachers. And
No.
so, yeah, so that happened on Saturday. I was notified about that. I worked with one of the epidemiologists at the state level on Monday. I also talked with EEC, which is the licensing agency. And they made some mistakes. They should not be having teachers go with different groups. They need to stay with their group. So right now, everyone is I believe they're day 6 or 7 of their quarantine period. So, and I haven't received any positive cases out of that. So, but we're watching it.
Now,
They're
if I'm not
still-
mistaken, the daycare centers are not the responsibility of local board of health. Is that correct? It's a
Right,
state that licenses them?
Yeah, the state license and yeah, and they also had to submit their plan to the state when they reopened. But unfortunately, this is what happened. So,
Sure.
so I've just been kind of monitoring the situation. So Mary Whitley luckily took half the list and I took half the list, and we spent all day Monday calling those parents just to make sure they understood the quarantine and what they were watching for. So we'll
So
see.
Mary,
Yeah.
so reading the new CDC guidelines or recommendations about quarantine, is this something the state of Massachusetts is recommending as well, which is the shorter quarantine with a test at the end?
Yeah,
Or
well,
is-
so
it
last
work?
week, yeah, as of Monday, DPH adopted the CDC guidance. So we're now in alignment with them. So the new guidance, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it calls for a 10-day quarantine period. And on day 5 of that quarantine period, you can actually get tested. You can do a PCR or an antigen. If it's negative, you can come out of quarantine on day 8 with the understanding that you need to monitor yourself. And if you have any symptoms, you're back in.
Good.
And if you choose not to test, then you are quarantined for 10 days. Again, you can come out on day 11 with the understanding that you're going to monitor yourself through the full 14 days. So,
One would
Yeah,
assume
so-
that compliance will increase since it's a shorter period.
right.
And
And
human
also
nature being
found-
what it is.
yeah, they also found that 14 days really is a hardship for people who make minimum wage and who don't have a lot of sick time, that
Yeah.
it was creating other public health issues for people. So hopefully this will bring people into compliance. We'll see. So we're kind of in the middle of that whole thing. And then yesterday was Tuesday. Osgood School had a kindergarten child who tested positive yesterday. So Monday, the child was in school. So they currently have 12 kids quarantined and 2 staff. So we're working with that. So
It's
those are
interesting, Pat Sullivan's spreadsheet listed only 9 total, since the beginning. And, but this week there was only like 3, I think, because he doesn't identify whether it's teacher, staff, or student. Is that in line with what you have? 3 new cases this week? Or since last Friday, I should say.
I'd have to look at that off the top of my head.
Okay,
I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look at that, but this was just new yesterday, so.
okay, good.
So those are the 2 hot issues that have come up this week. And cases are climbing. We're up to 95. 192 contacts have been traced. So it's incredibly busy. But thank God I have Mary Whitley, who's working remotely, and she's taking cases and we're working together. So
you don't have the school nurses still supporting you in the tracing because they're not up at school?
Yeah, the school nurses are back at school, but they're really helpful. What's now happening is people seem to be going and getting a rapid test, and they're told right on the spot that they're positive. They're notifying the school nurses. So the school nurses know the case before I do. So, which is good because now they just can't do the contact tracing. It's pretty much done.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's taking all hands on deck to keep up with this.
Now, Mary, I'm just looking at the report from 11/25, which was just before Thanksgiving, and the 12/4, which was last Friday. It appears that we went from 72 confirmed to 86.
Yeah.
Okay, and that includes the 3 or so from the schools, I assume.
Last Friday's report does not include the 3
Okay,
from the
So
schools.
there'll also be 3 additional.
Yeah, so right now we're at 95.
95. We
Yeah.
went. So
Yeah.
we increased 9 from last Friday. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Happy Thanksgiving.
right.
Out of curiosity, the party that led to those 2 weeks out of school,
Yeah.
Yeah,
were there any cases linked to that at all?
no,
That's good.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. So, so that's where we are.
Now, Mary, I have a question. In the Mariner prints, every Friday we get the Mariner. Of course, they go to press, I think, on Wednesday. So their numbers are a little off than what you tell us. Is that just a function of the timeliness?
Yeah,
of the
that's
report?
That's the timeliness. Yeah, because I give you real time on Friday. You're getting the actual
Right.
number as of Friday, so.
Would it be reasonable to suggest to Quinn Kelly, I guess, who does the reporting, that he should identify this, that's the result as of that Wednesday, rather than people thinking it's a Friday result? Just a little.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
might
that's a
be-
good point. Yeah. I think you're right. They go to press, I think it's Wednesday that they used to anyway.
It was Wednesday at one point, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll send him an email and ask him to make that clear.
Yeah, good, okay. Well, thank you, Mary. Everything.
You're welcome.
Any news that you can give us on the distribution of the vax? Anything
Oh,
that you
boy.
don't read in the paper?
No, I don't have any news other than I submitted every town had to submit like an agreement that we would participate in the vaccine program. So we've done that. We did do, this year we did 2 different types of flu clinics. We did 2 drive-throughs and 1 in person. And so I'm glad we kind of drilled those because I think, the drive-through will be the way to go. Of course, depending, when we actually start to vaccinate the public, I think it'll be springtime. And I think that's going to be the model that we'll use. It's just, there's a lot of logistics to that though, because anytime you give someone a vaccine, they've never had it before, we always have them stay for 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
that's going to be an issue, right? You're going to vaccinate people and then they're going to all have to line up and wait 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's going to be slow, I think.
Now, the press reports from UK indicated at least 2 people had allergic reactions to the Pfizer.
Right. Right.
Which doesn't, it doesn't mean anything right at this point. They may have had an underlying allergic condition.
Mhm.
Something to think about.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so, but the good news about this, paramedics are approved to vaccinate. And so I've talked to Chief Sylvia about that, and he can offer us quite a bit of help with that. So,
What about
We'll
the
see.
refrigeration for the Pfizer, which
yeah,
I think you probably have a new fridge. I understand that should keep it at the temperature it needs to be after it's shipped at negative 94 Fahrenheit. Correct? So you can keep it at 42 degrees or whatever it is.
yeah, right. My refrigerator's between 36 and 45 degrees, so,
Good. Okay. Good.
yeah.
Good shape. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
I have nothing to report other than I'm here finally. I do apologize for playing hooky for the last meeting, but that's because Amy never reminded me.
What?
Okay. Well, thank you all. This is a nice, short and sweet meeting.
Well, hang on 1 second.
Yes,
Amy
okay.
sent me a message saying, you approved the meeting minutes for September, but not the November 4th meeting. Is that true?
I thought we
Oh,
did
well,
it. in-
I will, well, we did it en masse, but let's do I'll move to accept the November 4th meeting minutes.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Yeah, we did it together. We should have done it separately.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Okay.
Thanks, Amy, keeping us honest.
Everybody have a healthy and safe holiday season. And,
Indeed.
And we'll see you after the 1st.
All right, Happy New Year. Do we need a motion to adjourn?
You always like to make that motion, Michael.
It's my favorite motion. So Lynn got to make all these great motions today, so I moved to adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Have a nice evening, everybody.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Yeah. Have a
Have a
nice
nice
Christmas.